All right, welcome to Screen Time with today's Communiqué. Today we are talking all about wine. That's right, we're talking about the Flyght Black wine tasting and cultural experience event. And I am so happy to have Miss Kara Wilkins and Miss Kimberly to talk all about the event. But before we get started, let's do some introductions. If you guys would just tell me who you are and tell me a little bit about yourself and your career path. So, Miss Kara, why don't you start for us?
Yeah, well, I'm excited to be back, Kenya. I know this is the second or third time that I've been on today's Communiqué, so I appreciate you and your continuation to help promote Black businesses across Arkansas. I'm Kara Wilkins. I'm the owner of K Wilkins Consulting, but I'm also the founder of Flight Black, and I'm excited to join you all today. I again consult in my professional life, and then I have a passion for wine and bringing wine into Black communities and helping folks to move a little bit beyond Moscato and Sutter Home being our favorites. And so I am on a mission along with Kim to kind of help just expand and explore our palate and bring wine into the Black community. So, if you want Sutter Home, then that's fine. But I also want you to know that there's other options. So.
Absolutely. Miss Lee, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hey, Kenya. Thank you for having me on again. I was on, I think, last year. Can't remember if it was regarding sickle cell or financial literacy. I can't remember.
We talked about sickle cell.
Okay, sickle cell disease.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, glad to be back on. Kimberly Lee, my daytime job is I'm a financial inclusion officer with Hope Credit Union for the Arkansas market. Oh, I have a lot of other things that I do, but I do have a side business as well called K-Lee Consulting Group. And I like to connect, build, and grow entrepreneurs or organizations, just to give them that guidance and footprint on how to become more, how to increase the branding, increase their visibility, and just those next steps when they really don't know how to start or how to rebrand themselves. And I'm glad to be here with Kara, who invited me on this wine journey. I am a wine drinker as well. I am far from the Moscato, so I understand her concept. So just here to help Arkansas, really the city of Little Rock, but we hope to make it an Arkansas thing. Just learn about Black-owned wine businesses and just the culture of it. Just to introduce them to some new things, because we definitely need new things.
And speaking of new things, this is definitely a new thing for the city. And so why don't one of you talk a little bit about how the whole concept of a wine tasting event caters specifically to communities of color, to the Black community. How did that come about?
I'm gonna let the founder do that part.
Well, without going way back in history, but one of, again, my passions is I call myself a wine enthusiast. I've been working and learning more about wine for probably the past 2 or 3 years in terms of studying. I am in the process of getting a wine certification to move myself forward on some other wine certifications that I want to get as well. And so in that journey, I have noticed that there are not a lot of people who look like me in the room in terms of my wine tasting classes or other places that I usually go when I want to partake in wine and do things of that nature. And so fast forward about 2 years, I was talking to Kim and I just was like, I have this idea. I've seen it in other places. I used to live in Maryland, and so Washington, D.C. would have a lot of wine festivals. And I honestly had been waiting on somebody to bring it here. I was like, oh, surely somebody will do that. It's me. I mean, but when they do it, I will go. And nobody brought it. So I was talking to Kim. Kim, to me, is event planner extraordinaire. She is very good at kind of like executing and seeing a vision of something, whereas I'm good at kind of like conceptualizing it and kind of coming up with the thought. Yeah. Kim was like, well, why don't you and I do it? And I was like, no. Who would that. Like, I was like, it'll just be us at the house drinking wine. And I was very wrong. I was very wrong. Within the first 2 weeks, we sold out our VIP tickets. We actually had to open up some more slots.
Yeah.
We are very close to selling out our normal tasting tickets. I assume we will be probably selling that out by the end of the week. And so there is a market, and there apparently were a lot of people who want to, again, to Kim's point, learn more about Black wine, learn more about Black-owned businesses, and come outside and have a good time and be not in a party setting,
Right.
but with like, grown folks who enjoy the same things that they enjoy, and again, partaking in wine. So we're really excited. It really has gotten a better reception, I will be honest, than we thought. We're pleasantly surprised.
Great, great. I'm glad to hear that. So you, Ms. Wilkins, came up with the concept, and you said that Ms. Lee has the vision. And so, Ms. Lee, talk a little bit about what you see as the vision of the event.
Well, when Kara brought it to me and she was giving me the ideas of where she wanted the events to be, I was like, okay, this spot. But then she and I attended this outdoor event, and we were sitting there. She was like, Kim, I can have it here. I said, oh no. Now you want to do this and you want to do it right, I got a spot for you. So I told her to go over to Rock City Yacht Club. I have been there a couple of times. I love the venue, outdoor, on the water. I thought it was a great setting for the event. And she was like, this is it. First we were thinking rooftop. We definitely wanted outdoor. So when she said, this is it, I said, okay, then let's put the legs to work. So we sat down and just started brainstorming about how we wanted it to look, vendors that we wanted to have there. And I started reaching out to people that I knew, and I was like, hey, got this concept, want to make it happen. And even when I talked to people, they were just like, wow, I really like this. I can see this. And for this to be our first, we definitely are testing the market. So the scale we wanted is not there yet, but the concept is starting. And the more we talk about it, the bigger our minds got. And I think our minds actually got bigger than the initial concept, but it's coming and we're gonna make it happen. And you're just gonna see, it's a social event to me.
Right.
I'm a social person. I love to see people come and be entertained by music, live entertainment, just network, talk to people. Not always a club event, but what I call a social event, where you're able to enjoy the event while you're socializing with your friends, your guests, or anybody that's in the audience. So that's the concept I came up with when she gave me her vision.
And so just to talk a little bit more about the concept, just to dig a little bit deeper, I know that you mentioned that you wanted it to be an outdoor event. So can you talk a little bit about your reasoning behind having it outside versus, an inside event? Did COVID have anything to do with it? Or is it just, the ambiance, the atmosphere, the environment?
I would say both.
Okay.
Definitely COVID, you want to be, mindful of the pandemic, the coronavirus. So we definitely wanted a setting where people could still, follow the restrictions, but be more comfortable at gathering. And we didn't even, the capacity of the venue, we're not even selling the tickets to the capacity because we want people to feel comfortable. But just outdoor, if you've ever been to one, and thanks to Kara, I'm going to be attending many more, but I've been to one here in Little Rock on the North Little Rock side that the American Heart Association does. And it's outdoor and it's a great concept, but just being outside with wine on a breezy, nice day, that's just the feel you want to give the audience. Indoor, to me, it's just like a normal sit down event. Outdoor gets it a different vibe.
Gotcha. And so I'm going to toss it back over to you, Ms. Wilkins, with this question. You mentioned a little bit earlier that you were studying to get your certification as a wine educator. And so what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Tanya. That's actually probably what we should have started with. A lot of times people ask me, oh, are you a sommelier? Because that's what they've seen.
Right.
They have a Netflix movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it was about the black guy in Memphis who went on to be a sommelier. And so I have to tell people no. So just like it was depicted in the movie, a sommelier is a master of sommelier. It's like an MS degree for anyone else. So you have to go to school. You have to, it's full time. It's something to do. Not only do you have to do the education part, which usually means that you have to leave work and go and study. You have to spend a certain amount of time in one of what they call kind of the mother wine countries. So like Italy, France, somewhere like that. So you can then be able to say that you are actually a master in your field. So it takes a lot of time and money to become a sommelier, which again is why you probably don't see a lot of Black people in that field. But leading up to that, there are certifications that people can get. I am personally taking what's called the WSET, so WSET, and they have 3 or 4 levels. And so I'm on level 2, and that just basically means that I'm learning the fundamentals of wine, learning about where wine came from. Wine is actually very intricate. The grapes, where they're harvested, what they, look like, how they're actually fermented and how they're actually used to make wine is a very intensive process. It does not just show up in your bottle, and it's not as simple as they try to make it on TV, where it's like you see somebody stomping grapes and then it just shows up. That's not it. It is very, so you might have a wine category like Chardonnay, and that's kind of like a big one that most people know. But underneath Chardonnay, you may have 50 varietals.
Oh, wow.
Different kind of wines made in different places like New Zealand or Africa or whatever. And if you are a true master in your field, you can actually taste the wine and tell where it's from and how it was harvested. Okay. So it takes steps. It takes years to really do this. Like I said, I've been on this journey for about 2 years. And hopefully we'll be taking my exam and pass it by the end of the year. But then I'll be going into level 3, which is where I will start the tasting part. And that could take another year or 2 just to get like really good at it, to be able to pass the exam. It's a real exam. I mean, you got to go somewhere. It gets proctored. There's a person there. They're like walking you through it. You got to take the written part, and then you got to take the tasting part. It takes hours. It's not a joke. So anyways, but it's exciting, and I love to do it. And it's what makes me want to continue to do this work and bring more Black folks in. Even on social media, I've met 1 or 2 other Black folks in Arkansas who are like, well, how did you do, this certification, and where did you go? And so it's starting a movement.
So speaking of starting the movement, do you see yourself in the future becoming a sommelier, going over and really immersing yourself and studying so that you can get to that master's level?
I do, yeah, probably in another 5 to 8 years. When I'm closer to like 50, I'll be 40 in 2 or 3 years. So probably, that's my retirement plan. I am not a baby. That's my retirement plan, though. I do plan to do that.
Perfect. So let's talk a little bit more about the event. What can we expect when we attend the event?
Well, before we even talk about the event, we have to say thank you to our sponsors. We have reached out to friends that we know, and some of them were just so excited to join us. William Chiropractor is one of our sponsors. Derek Lewis Foundation. Plush Home. Thank you. Plush Home Realtors.
Those are our major sponsors.
Carissa Hill Ochi, and I'm missing one more. Wealth Lux Management. So we have, and they're all Black owned businesses. So we reached out to our circle to see, hey, we're doing this, join us, because next year, our vision for next year is much greater than it is this year. But we want to first thank each of them for believing in us and believing in this event and sowing a financial seed to this event. So when they come out, we hope that they enjoy it and will join us next year. But when you come, you're going to come in. There's no attire. We want you to come. It's a Sunday. 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We want you to come comfortable, dress to your best. You will come, you're gonna hear great music from Chrissy P, Keith Savage, Nikki Parrish. They're gonna be our live entertainment. We're gonna have a little DJ music. We'll have 4 tables that will have our featured Black on wines there. And we will also have a bar for those who may not really drink wine, but still want to have a little cocktail because it is open to men and women. Some people thought it was just women from our weekly wine and wines event. I'm like, no, my husband would be there. Some of my friends' husbands would be there. Jimmy, yes, Cafe Havana would be there with the cigars. So this is kind of a laid back wine social gathering with some entertainment and just fun on a Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So our VIP is sold out. We were so surprised how quick it sold out. She said weeks, but it was actually 3 days. We do have tasting tickets available, which gives you unlimited pours from 3 to 6. After that, you have to purchase your drinks after that. And then we have general admission, which gets you in the event, but then you have to purchase your own wine or other beverage. So even if you don't get a tasting ticket, you can still come and you can purchase a glass of wine or more, or you like something else, it will be a bar there with selling other beverages for cash. So it's really just a laid back event. We don't really have anything structured. It will be hosted by Teresa Timmons Schamberger and Brian Stewart, as y'all know as B Level. They will be our hosts for the night. We want me, and I think Kara too, I kind of wanted to just network with the people. So I didn't want to really host, but I wanted some adult hosting hosts to come and kind of keep the crowd entertained. They're going to do they're going to educate the people throughout the event. It won't be a whole lot of talking, but we just want them to keep the event going. I'm organized, so I like things to be on a structured.
Right.
I think to be structured, so I just want them to keep it afloat and just to let the crowd know what's happening next, what to expect, and to always thank our sponsors and our vendors that have came out to support us in this event.
So I know you mentioned early on that your VIP section is already sold out. And there are a few general admission tickets and tasting tickets remaining. So if someone wanted to purchase to attend, how would they find out where to purchase and how to purchase?
They can go, Eventbrite is the only location that we're selling tickets. They can go to Flyght, FLYGHT, blackwine.eventbrite.com. There you can purchase your tasting ticket and your general admission ticket. If you decide to come the day of, if there's tickets still available, we will allow you to purchase them then. And you can do it in the line on Eventbrite, or we also be accepting cash and credit cards as well.
Okay. One more question. Flyght Black. How did that name come about? It's very unique. It's something that just kind of rolls off the tongue, but how did you come up with that name?
That's a great question. So Flyght, FLIGHT, is traditionally what's known in the wine or beverage industry as a series. It's a wine tasting. It's a tasting. So when someone says like, oh, you can have a flight of beer, that just means they're going to give you several beers in a row in a tasting format. Same thing with wine. Same thing with anything. I can call anything a flight if I want to. It just means that you're showing somebody something. Well, the wine bar that I will be opening late 2022, early 2023 is called Flyght, but we changed it to a Y, one to be more representative of the culture, and that would fly, and that I'll fly. Also to, kind of incorporate the wine in there. And so I have a whole separate logo that kind of brings that in. But it really kind of just harkens to that because, again, this is an educational event. To Kim's point, Kenya, we do want Black folks to walk away knowing and learning about a few more wines, knowing and learning more about the wine industry and things of that nature. So the word from the beginning, flight, is just kind of helping to say like, here's a common terminology that's used in the wine industry. And then black was just to be unapologetically black. I mean, we are bringing in, and so I'm gonna showcase. This is a black wine brand. This is OPP. OPP is made by Mason Noir Wine Brands, which is owned by a black man who lives in New York, and he's a sommelier. His name is Andre Mack. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Mack. He's wonderful. And so, anyways, he has, we'll be featuring his Pinot Noir as well as his Pinot Gris. They can be purchased at Sam's. And so we want folks to know you can go and buy this tomorrow. I mean, there's a lot of black owned wine brands that we can't get here in Arkansas. And that's something that we will continue to talk about as we continue to do our events. But for the people who are here, we do want people to support. We also are going to feature the McBride sisters, which a lot of people know about, the Black Girl Magic wine. Yes. And so we will have some varieties of that as well. And as well as anybody else, you can pick that up at Kroger or anywhere. And so that's, those are the ideas behind like Flyght Black. It's just like we're talking about wine, which is the flight, but we're also trying to educate and bring Black folks in and also try to promote Black businesses in the wine industry and promote, Black folks who are making wine. The other thing I just want to mention real quick, because Tim and I talked about this the other day, outside of the actual venue itself, every vendor that we're using is Black.
Yes.
So the person who designed our flyer is Black. The people who we've hired to be the bartenders and pour Black-owned business. Our decorator is a Black-owned business. Yeah. The people who will be providing some of our other foods and beverages, Black-owned business. So the performers are all Black. So we've been very intentional in working and promoting Black folks. The person who's doing our wine glasses. I mean, we really have. And so it's not just, we want you to come out and learn. Again, we're putting our time and our money where our mouth is as well. Yes. And also trying to see back into the community and make sure that other Black folks are being uplifted. And we will have a list of those folks at the event so that other people, if they want to promote and support, like today's Communiqué, then we will make sure to connect them back over to you all. So if they have future events and other things that they want to host, they know where to contact you all and use you. So it really is about giving back to the community, but also educating and bringing folks in as well.
Yeah.
And I want to highlight one other business that did step in and help us. I didn't get to mention, not a Black owned, but definitely she was mentioning where you can purchase the wine. We want to thank Cody at Sam's in North Little Rock. He is the store manager there, and one of my friends lived next door to him. And when they were like, where y'all getting the wines from? And I was like, well, it's sold at Sam's in North Little Rock. Hey, I know him. And initially, he was like, can't do this, but I can do this. And my husband and I went and picked up the wines, and I got to meet him. And he was even like, next year, hey, just give me a heads up. Let's do something that I could possibly do some more. And I'm like, well, thank you. Just in a matter of a short conversation with someone in the middle, he was like, hey, okay, I want to be part of this. So we're going to definitely give him shout out to that Sam's in North Little Rock. Thank you, Cody, for helping us, making sure that we have what we need for Sunday.
That is great. That is awesome. Shout out to all the sponsors for making it happen. And a huge congratulations to both of you ladies for even bringing the concept and making it, make it come to life. That's what it's all about, having an idea, working together, and bringing it to life. So congratulations to both of you in advance.
Thank you. I don't think I could have done it with anybody else. Kara and I know each other from years ago, but when I joined Hope Credit Union, because of work, we just started to work more and more together. And then with reality TV, we found out that we have other things in common. And just to throw that in there, I don't know who all watches Real Housewives of Potomac. And I know you shared it in your email blast before, but we host every Monday Wine and Wines with Kara and Kim, where we recap the previous night episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. At Empire, see, everything we do is strategic. Even when we had this conversation, we wanted to do it with a Black-owned business at a Black-owned establishment. And I contacted Brian Stewart, who has really been a support to us. He was like, yes, we're not doing nothing on Mondays. You all can have this space. And even from there, he's willing to host the event for us. So we want to give a shout out to him and the staff at Empire. They have always been great. So we go there 5:30. We have our little wind down and our pre-recap with the audience. And then at 6 o'clock, we put on our official face with the t-shirt. And then we have to, just recap. I mean, the show is really, if you don't watch it, you should watch it. We have people that come that have never watched the show that now watches the show. You don't have to be a fan. It's just a good thing to do on Monday nights after work. Just lay back, whether it's 5:30 to 7. And that's part of K&K. We call ourselves K&K Productions.
Okay, I flashbacked to the 90s where we had all of the the female hip hop groups, and I just had a quick flashback. But thank you guys both for being here, for sharing about Flyght Black, and we look forward to seeing everyone there on Sunday, October 17th, from 3 to 8 p.m. at Rock City Yacht Club. So, Ms. Wilkins, Ms. Lee, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kenya. We hope to see everyone there. Tickets are still on sale. Get yours.